All right, YouTube, welcome back. So I heard that Mega Millions is big money, so I'm gonna go get some Mega Millions tonight. And you should too. Get away from this rat race going to work every day. So Rachel has a regular customer of ours, and I just did a video. It was a 17 Jeep Wrangler with 40,000 miles on it. They have a warranty, an aftermarket warranty, I suppose. And the engine oil cooler was pissing oil out from under the intake manifold and running down the backside of the transmission. The whole industry, the whole world knows that it's a high failure rate item on these vehicles. Jeep and Chrysler technicians are doing them all day long, every day, warranted and non-warranted. So for us, customer gifted us the job. So we're doing the job. Rachel's working with the warranty company, and then Rachel's calling in to get paid, and we use all OEM parts. We do not reuse the coolant temperature sensor. We do not reuse the coolant. We do not reuse the oil. We actually do an oil change and a coolant service. So the lady's grilling Rachel on, well, how did the oil cooler fail? Did it get hit by anything? And I'm like, no, it's under the intake manifold. It just failed and it's leaking oil. You know, so where's it coming from? Is it coming from hoses? Coming from this? I'm like, listen, lady, the oil cooler is leaking. I'm not saying anymore. The oil cooler is leaking. She's like, all right, well, you know, blah, 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 blah. Something hit it. Why did it fail? It's leaking. That's all I can tell you. That's it. I'm not a scientist. I'm just a technician that says this is the problem. So, and Rachel's like, okay. She's like, what else? And she's like, engine coolant temperature sensor. Why did you need that? And I said to her, I'm not taking off used parts, taking used parts out of an oil cooler and putting into a new part. We don't do business that way here. Well, you can't just say that you don't do business that way here, man, because the warranty company won't pay for it. I was like, well, okay, next. I said the oil pressure sensor, blah, 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 blah. What's wrong with that? Same scenario, lady. We have to take the old parts out of the oil cooler, and we're not putting used parts back in. They basically were refusing to pay to do the job correctly. Like, I didn't hear the end-all, be-all of this, but I'm going to tell you that your warranty companies don't have your best interests. I'll tell you that. It's actually very shitty that they even would question you doing a quality job. Now, another high failure rate on a Jeep 3.6 is the oil pressure sensor. So why do you think we put a new one in every time that we do it? Gee, because we want to do a good job. I don't want to have to call the warranty company back and the next day or a week or a month and say, guess what, dumbasses? You told me that you didn't want to pay for this part, so we put the used one in, which I would never do. And now I got to bill you again for all this time because you neglected to do the job right the first time. It's just shitty that they just do that. They can't just say, oh, well, Mr. Mechanic, you know the best thing. And sometimes you have our best interest in doing the job right the first time, right? So if I screw it up, I don't have to call the warranty company and tell them I screwed it up. I just got to take care of it. But if I do it right, we don't usually have any problems. So let's go in and see what Rachel has to say. Let alone not let you make any money on the job. Can we talk for a minute? How'd you make out with the warranty company?
I'm still working on it.
Oh, she's still working on it. I left to go to the bank 30 minutes ago, and she's still getting jerked off. Oh, we'll see how that goes. Sometimes it's just not the best to buy an aftermarket warranty.
No, it is for them. It's not for us.
No, because the customer's going to pay the difference.
They're getting it pretty much almost covered, and they're paying for the diag, which I didn't even put on there because it's
You shouldn't be charging for paying diag.
But they'll pay it,
Correct.
so I put that on there. But they're only going to pay the MSRP, and I'm like, well...
The customer's going to pay the difference.
Yeah.
But for them to tell you to put used parts back into their engine is ridiculous.
They're not.
Well, I know, but they questioned it. Like, well, why do you want to do that?
They
want
want
to do a quality job.
That's what they want.
You don't take a car apart and put used parts back in on new parts. It's just stupid. She's still working on it.